Welcome to beautiful Silchester. It's looking very dry today because of the hot summer, lack of rain we've had recently, and I'm down here doing a little bit of field recording as well as making some videos about the places that I know and love in this area. Having a little bit of a go. I'm making YouTube videos again. Excuse me, we must just check my monitor. Yeah, it's all working. So let's go and find some interesting spots around this beautiful old Roman town. Trusty Zoom H6, and I've got set up just recording some sounds at the moment. I was doing some that tied in the video, but now it's doing its own thing. I'm just recording some ambience around the area as I go for a walk. I think this is one of my favourite parts of the wall, actually, because it's big, it's taller than myself, and it's been a long old time. Part of it was built in the Iron Age era, and then the Romans came along, and the two tribes joined forces, and they upgraded the wall. And this wall goes all the way around this entire site. So the area in the middle is where the town used to be, and they've excavated it in the past, and they found lots of interesting artifacts, and most of which you can find in Reading Museum. So let's walk around a bit further and find some other points of interest. So what we're going to do is, I don't have time to do the whole circuit today, but just give you an idea of where I could head. I could carry on along that way, around through the woodlands over there, which is a nice place to explore in its own right, and then along the pathway that goes through the middle of what used to be this old town to the church. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit further along here and drop down to the lower path and go back to the church, and we'll have a little look inside the church, because I think that's a segment I could use for my church's project, which I started in earnest towards the end of last year. I've been around quite a lot of churches and taking photographs of them, and there's so much history that I had no idea about until we started to explore and started to kind of unearth some of these interesting things. And there's lots of questions. There are lots of questions that arise as a result of this project, and so it's turned out to be really, really interesting. So we're going to go down here because this is one of the main gateways to the old town. So Silchester was called, let's get a little pan around this spot, just me and the birds today, and you can see how big this is. Let's see if I can get myself in the frame versus this colossal wall. It's huge, and whoa. Once upon a time there would have been a massive gateway right here, and it's referred to the panel here. So yeah, it was constructed around AD 270, and it ran a length of 2.4 kilometres around the town. So we are, where are we here? We might be on the other panel. It's another panel? Maybe this wasn't the main. No, this is a gateway. Definitely a gateway. I don't know. We're on the eastern side. Where is it? On the eastern side of the town? I don't know. I'm not a historian. I'm not an expert. I'm just fascinated by this stuff. Look at this wall. Isn't it wonderful? Absolutely wonderful. In fact, walking along this path is a good idea because it gives you an idea on the scale of this wall. And I'm guessing it would have been taller at one point because there would have been other buildings on top of the wall where the guards and the lookouts would be, I'm supposing. Some of it might have eroded away, but some of it obviously has eroded away, as you can see here. Sections have fallen down, and if you look at this closely, you can see that very clearly. All of these flinty rocks. Now, that would have once been up there somewhere, but at some point in time it's fallen. Is it decay? Or was it sieged? I don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions about Silchester, actually. A lot of stuff that people don't really know. But no, that's the case with these places, isn't it, really? Anyway, let's head on. Over the years, I've been coming to this site so many times with my dad and my brother and various pet dogs that we've had over the years. And I like photographing this tree, and I wonder how old this tree is. And it's one of those trees that it's great to photograph at different times of the year. So, autumn, winter, spring, and it's something I've not done for ages. Maybe starting this winter, or starting this autumn, I should resume my trees and seasons project. Yeah, one of many projects I have. Here we go, it's another section of the wall that's interesting. You can see there's a more modern piece there. There's a red brick. Or is it actually that modern? It may not be. Do you know what? It's really, really hot today. I was thinking that the hot spell, or hot spells had passed, and we're now past the warm season. But no, it's still very warm. So I'm heading back to the car to grab a drink, and then we'll go to the church. Now this is really interesting. The Camino Ingles de Santiago, which is the Camino de Santiago, the English part of the walk. That's also known as St James Way, and it starts at Reading Abbey and continues down to Southampton, and from there of course you can get a boat across to northern Spain to continue the walk. Back on the road for a little bit. This road takes us up to the modern day village of Silchester. In that direction also, although I'm not going to go to it today, is the amphitheatre. I'll save that for its own video. But again, along here you can see how well preserved the wall is. And when we come back to do some other sections of the wall, you'll see some even better bits. St Mary the Virgin, and following the wall. Now it's interesting to note that parts of the wall were used to build the church. So I was about to walk into the church grounds and then realised there's something going on. So I've decided to call it quits and head home.